It's 7:45 on a Saturday morning, and I am in Uptown this morning because, believe it or not, Mr. Rooney and Mr. Prasky have invited me to come back onto their radio show, which is a little unbelievable for me. But yeah, so I'm excited. We get to go on the WCCO Real Estate Radio Hour this morning again, and we'll be outside of the Cambria Gallery. I'm about to head into the Uptown Diner. I've never been here before, and we're going to grab a breakfast before we head up that way. So, can't wait to take you guys with.
The following program is brought to you by the Preferred Home Team. Content is provided for general information only and should not be treated as a substitute for professional advice from your legal or real estate advisors. Welcome to the Real Estate Radio Hour, a forum of ideas, plans, and expert advice on all things real estate. Andy Prasky with RE/MAX Advantage Plus was named Super Agent by Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine. Chris Rooney of RE/MAX Preferred is a lakeshore and luxury home specialist. Together, they cover the Twin Cities. This combined, dynamic duo has sold over 2,000 homes, ranked in the top 1% nationwide, top 10 in the state of Minnesota, and still have time to get together every Saturday to talk about real estate.
I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is purple and gold Cambria here. It's pretty cool, if you're a Vikings fan. About to start the radio show here for the Real Estate Radio Hour with Chris Rooney and Andy Prasky. And today, because it's Super Bowl weekend, we are downtown at the Cambria Gallery, which is pretty fancy around here. I'm quite impressed. Rumor has it there may be some celebrities coming in, but we will see if there are any actual celebrity sightings, or the only celebrities may be Andy and Chris. They're about to cook something here with funky grits. I think that's pretty cool.
Broadcasting the show live from the Cambria Gallery, the beautiful Cambria Gallery here on 7th and 2nd in downtown Minneapolis. Chris and Andy, kind of a nice place here. Huh?
You're not kidding.
Gorgeous.
After the Super Bowl is when things start heating up, and I'm telling you, we got to start getting it heated up because there's just no inventory.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's easy to be a seller right now. It's a challenge to be a buyer. We have a lot of people out there that want to buy that are not finding the good inventory that they feel that will activate them to want to make that decision to become a homeowner or to upgrade. And so, and there's only so many of us that can do new construction. So the market's a little frustrating, to be honest with you. So it'd be nice to see some new active inventory come on.
We have 146 designs right now. You can come down to the gallery and see 24 slabs, and you can see all 146 designs in a 12 by 12 sample.
Welcome back to our real estate show here on 830 WCCO. We're broadcasting the show live. Beautiful Cambria Gallery. Chris and Andy with some special guests besides themselves. And where do we go from here, guys?
Well, Super Bowl weekend, you got to bring back Travis Whitford. Travis is here, TravisMNLoans.com. Rates are going higher. So are house prices. Everything is going better.
Rates aren't jumping all around. They've been very flat, and we're kind of in we try to make things exciting and try to, make it sound like something's happening. But ultimately what it comes down to is that people that feel comfortable, like you, Chris and I have always talked about consumer confidence. When consumer confidence is there, people buy houses, and especially millennials, which is, we brought Noelle Nielsen in here today to talk about the actual, what are millennials thinking, being that she is a millennial, but
she's a really old millennial, though.
Yeah, right.
Right, Noelle?
I'm barely a millennial. So millennials currently go up to age 35, which, as you broadcast last time, I am 35.
We would never embarrass a person on the radio.
I don't think that's embarrassing. Myself.
I'd be proud as heck to be 35.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Chris, you got kids that are 35.
But I mean, those interest rates and go. Oh, yeah.
Millennials over the last, I think they say 4 years have really started coming out of the woodwork to purchase homes. But because inventory is so low, they're actually purchasing maybe not that first-time home buyer house, but they're being pushed into the next higher price bracket, which is about $200 to $350 price range. So yeah, it's interesting what millennials are getting pushed into because of the current market.
Your personal experience, your group of friends and your network of people, I mean, are you seeing people wanting to be homeowners? Are you seeing people that want to be renters? Or what are you seeing out there?
The majority of the people in my friend circle, most of them all now are homeowners. And really, since my husband and I became homeowners, probably in our mid-20s, most of the people back then were buying homes. The problem is that a lot of those older millennials, if you will, they bought homes in the time when the market was really high for home prices and now are struggling with the home sale. And now maybe they are just able to move into their second home purchase because they have caught up on the equity in the house. But yeah, it's been interesting to watch the people in my age bracket. Mm-hmm. And then the people that are a little bit younger, they traditionally have been renters, but those are the people now that are coming out of the woodwork that are starting to purchase. They're watching that interest rate go up and are, starting to make the decision to buy.
So what with that younger buyer though, you have that, the 20-something buyers that are out there that are looking to buy versus the rent. That there's nothing for them to buy.
No.
So that I think it's going to force them to sit on the sidelines or do something creative. You know what I mean?
Do something creative. Sometimes get a loan from mom and dad so they can purchase that mid-range home instead of the starter home. That's what they're starting to do now.
Well, sounds like my 35-year-old kids will be able to give me a loan pretty soon.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Cambria Gallery in downtown Minneapolis. We're doing our real estate show from here. There's a text message came in just a couple of minutes ago. It says, what does Minnesota require for radon testing when selling a house that does not have a mitigation system?
Well, there's no requirement per se that you have to have a radon test done. I would say most people do a radon test. And if that exceeds, it used to be 4. Now I'm getting everyone that if it exceeds 2, they're starting to ask for that system. Right. But it's not life or death either. Like it's like $1,200 to $1,500.
Well, preventative measures of anything, just like if you had a chemical in your water, and yes, it's a safe amount, but it's still a chemical in your water. You know what I mean? So it's like I would address it for sure. What about you, Noelle? What do you think with your clients?
Well, I'm a little different with radon. I personally am not a believer in radon, so I'm different. But I let my clients decide if they want to do a radon test or not. Obviously, if it comes back high, I will suggest that we go back and ask for that mitigation. And yeah, we typically see that costs about $1,500 to $2,000 to mitigate.
You should use my guy.
Yeah, well, maybe.
No, give us the other side of the radon.
Well, I think that there are statistics out there that say that maybe radon doesn't actually have the effects that they claim it does, but that's my conspiracy theory side coming out. I'm very much that way. But yeah, so to me, a radon can blow an inspection. At the end of the day, if it comes back high, a lot of times sellers get hung up on the fact that they don't want to pay for radon mitigation because they've been living there and they're fine.
Yeah, that's a very valid point.
The newer construction now, every home just comes with the radon mitigation system in it. Mm-hmm. So after a while, we won't probably see this as often.
Interesting point, though. We had one over in St. Paul, North St. Paul. Brand new house, was sitting there for about 6 months as a model. It scored a 9, and that had a radon mitigation system.
That's just a passive system, right?
Correct. So we had to go to active, where they actually put the fans in and had it retested. So just because it's there doesn't mean it's necessarily performing properly.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
If you want to call it in, your real estate question, 651-989-9226. Text is 81807.
buying market is getting raised by a shortage of inventory, is what it is. So I wish that it was more. I mean, I made that bold statement that December sales were going to be, way higher than the year before, and I was wrong. I mean, Noelle, we were talking about that too.
Right.
I mean, all of our stuff was selling in December, but I think it had to do with inventory that was really low and people were just grabbing everything.
And it's even lower now than when I was on last time back in December. Yeah, it's at an all-time low right now.
What do you think, Travis, as far as interest rates go? Is it making the buyers a little more excited?
Yeah, I personally haven't felt that yet. I agree with Chris wholeheartedly. It's the lack of inventory that's keeping things slow, and not the rising interest.
Thoughts on a 2-bedroom with lots of storage or a 3-bedroom with little storage house to build for resale?
I would 1,000% pick the 3-bedroom with less storage than the 2-bedroom with more storage. There's certain things that get you more money.
Yeah.
And bedrooms is one of them. And you can always kind of get away with that storage by clearing it out and making it look big.
Have you ever not been able to sell a house because it has too much storage?
Have I what?
Ever not been, has it ever been the challenge of selling a home being there's too much storage on site? So I would say, build a 3-bedroom house, add a 3rd stall in the garage, so you have that extra storage space, and then you're never going to have that challenge. It'll always be easy because the stats are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, usually a 2 or 3 car garage or more. And then,
Noelle, it's like you're positioning your house. I mean, if you don't have much storage, what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to get everything out of there, still make it look like you've got storage. If you completely clear out the storage thing, they're going to be like, no, that's not true. But if you stack it and put it in nice boxes, I mean, they look right past it.
Yeah. Well, have you ever watched any of those episodes of Tiny Houses and how they have all of those unique storage options?
You and your generation, yes.
That's what I would recommend is checking out, non-traditional ways to store things, but going for that 3-bedroom home instead. That
show's funny, though, because it always shows the cute young newlyweds. It never shows the couple that's been married 30 years doing that.
That's right.
I don't know if many people realize kind of like Andy and I work for different companies. Andy works a lot on the north side. I'm kind of more the south side. And I think what's interesting, and we're bringing Noelle Nielsen on here. She's with Remax Advantage Plus too. None of us work together, but we always work together. And
collaborate.
And I think that's important for people to know in the real estate industry when agents network together. Because we're kind of working behind the scenes, and if you have something that, hey, like Chris, hey, here's what I've got. Hey, what do you think of this? And we're kind of helping each other. And I think that agents helping each other versus against each other just is a lot better.
Oh, it's so much better, and it makes doing the transaction that much smoother when you're able to effectively communicate with another agent. I actually have not been in this business as long as the two of you, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And
well, supposedly, according to Andy, you could be my daughter. So
well, there's that. But for me, a key to getting going quickly was networking with other agents and agents that have more experience than I do. So that when I run into something that I haven't experienced, it's a quick phone call for me to find a solution for my buyer or my seller. And it makes it so that they are getting the full service experience, even though maybe I didn't have as much experience as the guy down the street.
Well, and that works nicely, though, in return. So you take that agent that has a little more experience, you bounce the idea off of, and maybe you take that, spin it so it works for your client. And in return, that guy that doesn't know what Facebook is or doesn't know what Instagram or,
Andy.
Wait. I have people that know that stuff,
agents have different niches, too.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, if someone's looking for a lake home, they
right.
kind of, hey, Chris, what do you think about that? And be able to help each other out.
Well, and there's no fence. I mean, we jokingly say, like, you're south, I'm north, the divide is this. It doesn't happen that way, but what happens is there's so much business in the Twin Cities that if you don't focus on something, you kind of fail at everything. And so concentrating your efforts into certain pockets, like if I have a listing that's in the south, I would refer it to you guys, for an example. I wouldn't even, drive down to Jordan or Prior Lake or whatever you were talking about earlier.
You should more often.
I should. It's actually nice. I've been down there once. It was nice.
It's a lot better. But I think we see the same thing in the mortgage industry as well. And it's kind of like what you got to do is you got to do what's best for your client.
Right.
And, and sometimes what's best for your client might be a different program, that someone else has, rather than trying to put them into one of your programs. So you guys do the same thing.
Yeah, I have a pretty good network of other friends and acquaintances in this industry, and there's many times that I'll refer out because of a various product that I don't have access to that a certain local bank might, that'll be perfect for the client. So it's do that a lot.
Yep, perfect.
Let's get another text in here. The question is, why are there so few one-level townhomes?
Isn't that the truth? I'll tell you.
Yep.
I mean, and the prices on one-level townhomes just keep going and going. Just because there's not that many available. When they come available, especially in the South Metro, where Noelle and I hang out, getting into those one-level townhomes, I mean, from $300,000 to $400,000. There's one of the pockets that what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You put one of those on, you're going to make some good money.
Well, a lot of times those are going non-MLS right now, and that's where that networking comes in. Because if you have a buyer looking for something and you absolutely can't find it, you're going to put the message out to the other agents that that may have that coming on,
right,
saying, hey, my buyer is looking for this.
Well, we've got slab on grade detached townhouses I've been selling up in Lino Lakes, Forest Lake. We can't keep them, Denny. I mean, and these are in the low 300s. And that a lot of people say, well, that's out of our price range. And it's like, well, unfortunately, the cost of the land, the cost of the house, that's what it adds up to right now.
Well, and I think for that particular style, it's a little bit more expensive of a build because you're not getting as much real estate going up. It's taking more of a footprint on the
Amen.
land.
Absolutely.
Yeah.